Hello. Here at Extraordinary Leadership, we enable teams to perform, to reach levels of performance that haven't been reached or haven't been reached consistently for whatever reason. So in the next few minutes, I'd like to describe a little bit about some dynamics. You may recognize some of them, and a bit about our work and our approach, and you can sense how well that fits. So teams, what can we say about them? There's more than one person, often more than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have the individual, each of them. We have their relationships with themselves, their relationships with each of the others, and their relationship with the team as a whole. And all of those things have to be firing well. That's why when we work with teams, we start with you, each of you, each in the team. Who are you? What are you about? What are you bringing? What's getting in the way? What's difficult for you? We create amazing spaces in which people are able to consistently share more of what they haven't shared before that may be difficult, or they might imagine would be difficult. This is critical when it comes to the second part, the relationship of each individual in a team to each other individual. There can be dozens and dozens of relationships, will be even in a team of 7, 8, 9 or 10. So how does each of them go? We often find in some teams that some people are working with some colleagues better than they are with others. Well, I get on really well with him, but her, I'm not so sure, and so on. Whatever it might be, and this may or may not be reciprocated. So we've created some great processes that enable people to explore with each other. I'd like to bring this to this relationship with you. I'd like to avoid that if I may. I'd like to get more of this from you, and so on. Not that there's always immediate agreement, but everything then is beginning to come out. Think about it. What do you really want from each of your colleagues? What do you want less from them? What do you want more from them? You probably have some idea, but may not have found it easy to communicate that, for that to be understood. Now let's go to the level of the individual's relationship to the team as a whole. Clearly critical. What does the team stand for? What is it really about? What's the difference it's really making that gets everyone inspired? How clear is that to everybody? How realistic is it? How understood is it? How much buy-in is there to it? And how much understanding is there about how your team will behave with each other? What are its own rules of engagement? You know, typically people join a team and just try and work it out unconsciously. A meeting here, a thing there. What can I say? What can I do? Who can I be with? Who can't I? It's not obvious. It's not known. And then they just kind of sit in with that and work with that, often not exploring what they could reach and what someone else might like to reach with them. So rules of engagement can clarify approach to time, priorities, connection, accountability, all of the qualities that you think are really important. Which leads us to another key part in our work that's so powerful. Remember, if you will, a time when you were in a high-performing team. It might be the team you're in now, it might be a team in the past, might be a team outside work. A team. When you remember what that was like, the qualities that were present, and let some of that come to mind. And now, remember a time when you were in a team that wasn't a high-performing team. Things didn't go quite so well. It just stuttered a bit. It was just a bit, things need saying twice. There was miscommunication, misunderstanding, a little bit of two quite different scenarios that you may be able to remember. And think about what was happening in that latter case. Well, as you think about it, you can begin to contrast the differences. And in our workshops, participants can easily do that. So we don't have to tell them, these are the qualities of a high-performing team, do it. That would have probably almost no effect. Your team figures it out with hopefully skilled facilitation and understands and gets where they are, where you are, where each of you are on those key qualities, and how you could take that to another level, what that will look like. You know, if the trust level in the team is on a scale of 0 to 10, at a 6, And clearly I don't know what it is in your team. What will it look like when it's an 8? What will be different? How will each of you and your colleagues be? What will be happening? So I've just skirted very quickly through some of the dynamics. Obviously, over a couple of days, we're able to explore what comes up, what's really there. We understand a lot about team dynamics. We're able to enable teams to move forward, but we don't come forward, as I've suggested, with a list of here's the stuff you do. It's a space to explore. Unlike many high-performing teams, we play what's in front of us. Meaning if the issues come up in a different way, that's what we need to address. We're not going to stick to a set script and plan. We seem to be able to ensure that everyone feels heard, connected with, and more understood. Not just by us, but by the rest of the team. And that's one of the key bases for outstanding team performance. You ask anybody, would you like to perform well? Would you like to make a good contribution to this team? Would you like this team to be a high-performing team? Everyone will say yes, yes, and yes. It might be yes providing and yes if, but we all want to perform well. That's the opportunity. And when it becomes clear that so many of the obstacles have been imaginary or unintended or simply unnecessary, skirt them out of the way. The team is refreshed, re-energized, ready to take things to that next level. Thank you for a few minutes joining me and being part of this team.